to Love Unfiltered. Today, we are diving into a powerful and deeply personal topic: past relationship trauma and the way it affects our emotional lives long after the relationship has ended. Whether it came from a toxic ex, a painful breakup, emotional manipulation, or neglect, trauma doesn't just disappear. It leaves imprints on your self-esteem, the way you love, and the way you communicate. And the way you communicate and the way you trust. So many people try to move on without ever addressing what hurt them, not realizing that those unresolved wounds show up in new relationships. They create fear, defensiveness, insecurity, and sometimes even self-sabotage. In this episode, we'll walk through how past relationship trauma shows up in current connections, the emotional and physical signs that a wound is still unhealed, how to begin the healing process, and then finally, what it takes to rebuild trust with yourself and others. Let's talk about how to break the cycle and move toward love that feels safe, healthy, and whole. Now, I have invited students from diverse backgrounds to share the unique perspectives on love, relationships, and everything in between. I have Diamond, who is from DC, sophomore business administration major. I have Tanaya, who is out from Jacksonville, North Carolina, and is currently in Landover, Maryland. Nutrition, food management major, transferred to South Carolina University from UMES. And she is a senior. And then finally, we have Kevion, who is originally from DC, currently resides in Salisbury, Maryland, digital media major with a minor in psychology, and is a freshman. I would like to thank all three of you for joining me this evening for this amazing and very important episode. All right, let's get started. Trauma doesn't start in the moment. It starts in patterns. Many people assume that once they leave a toxic relationship, they leave the trauma too. But emotional wounds don't work that way. Here's how unresolved trauma may show up in new relationships. Emotional triggers. Those can show as overreacting to small comments, shutting down during conflict, and feeling unsafe even when nothing is wrong. These aren't dramatic moments, they are trauma responses. The second one is trust issues. That can show as constantly fearing betrayal, overthinking partners' intentions, or waiting for something to go wrong. Trust, it becomes difficult because your brain is still wired for survival. Third, self-protective behaviors. Becoming emotionally unavailable, pushing people away before they can hurt you, or choosing partners who repeat old patterns. Sometimes we choose what is familiar, not what is healthy. And then finally, internalized beliefs. Those can show as, I'm hard to love. Everyone leaves. If I open up, I'll get hurt again. These beliefs don't just come from nowhere. They come from wounds that haven't been healed. Now, I want to ask my guest speakers a couple of questions about what I just read. Now, why do you think so many people underestimate the long-term impact of past relationship trauma?
Say that one more time.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think so many people underestimate the long-term impact of past relationship trauma?
Because a lot of people really don't think that the stuff that they go through will mentally affect them, right? Mm-hmm. But in the long term, anything that happens that is traumatic to you, whether you don't see it as traumatic, but self-consciously it can be traumatic deep down in your brain, right? So some people push that away and they don't they don't look towards it, and then it just becomes a thing where it just grows over time and time and time and time until they blow up. Mm-hmm. That's my answer. That's my response.
Mm-hmm. And I could also say as well, because like throughout the years, like, because I went through in the Army a long time ago. I went through a marriage, and I would have thought, and after all the trauma that my ex-wife put me through and everything, and sometimes like it took time for me to like accept the fact that I'm thinking the whole time she's going to apologize and admit that she was wrong, but turn to find out she never did. Not even to this day, I still haven't received an apology, and I just learned to like accept. And then I didn't want to put that on to the next person, whether I start like dating again, stuff like that, onto the next person. Because at the end, like you said, also you can hold it in for so long and then just lash out on the person that don't deserve it.
Yeah.
I also agree with that.
Because it builds up. The thing about people in psychology, a lot of people don't get into it, but me, I'm a firm believer of psychology, and I'm a firm believer of mental health. And so, like I said, I think people just literally let it grow and grow and grow, and they don't say nothing. And sometimes the best way is to say something. You know what I'm saying? Letting it out is the most important and healthiest way to avoid traumatic experiences, and to avoid traumatic experiences without it growing and building to be something as turmoil in your brain, you know?
Mm-hmm. I also want to add a comment for a lot of my followers, in which I also believe a lot of people who are like freshly getting into serious relationships and leaving them not exactly know 100% how to always let it out all the time. Not a lot of people also exactly know how to talk about those things, or sometimes people do feel like they're over it more than they actually are. And I feel like that could be the hiccup in a lot of cases too. Sometimes people look for validation in that next relationship to kind of cure those open wounds.
Right. Absolutely.
All right, now for the second question. What are some signs that someone hasn't fully healed, even if they think they've moved on?
I say some clear signs could still be resistance. It could be also emotional intelligence.
Oh, I was just about to say that. Oh my God. Yes, definitely. It definitely has to do with their emotional intelligence, because if a person cannot completely have a conversation without there being any type of backlash, you know what I'm saying? It is always a way to have a healthy conversation. Like, so when he said emotional intelligence, a lot of people lack thereof, because they have no emotional intelligence because of the problems that they went through. And so now they go through life and they can't even really go through life because they have all of these problems that they haven't fixed.
Mm-hmm. And I can say another sign of like that as well will be like every time it's like when you keep like referencing to the last like perfect relationship, like you're trying to have a conversation to like to not, or like every other time, like the PTSD from like that last relationship, you still gonna have like flashbacks of like what happened, and you're going to like still, it's like it takes a while for others to like you could like the relationship could be like, you could end the relationship sometimes maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, and you still just be like having like that PTSD trauma flashback, and then you go on the next person, they be trying like, I can feel like it's like they still like will have that thought of that person doing. You have insecurity,
repeated behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, repeated behavior,
like insecurity and PTSD from trauma relationships. It gets real.
Definitely heavily on insecurities, because I feel like with going through a bad experience and entering another, sometimes those insecurities kind of get doubled down on, and they intensify.
Mm-hmm. For the last question, have you seen friends or peers repeat cycles because they haven't addressed what hurt them?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I have too. And sometimes it would like frustrate me when I would see others constantly hurting themselves over and over again, and they're expecting a different result. Driving themselves to madness, expecting for things to get better, and it's clearly not. And I want to so badly to tell them to leave that person, but sometimes it's like, I don't want to say it's like none of my business or it's not my place to, but sometimes it is, or tends to be that way, because your friend may end up getting mad at you just because you try to help them out, you know? And sometimes it's, you just gotta like let them be and let them figure it out for themselves. It's unfortunate, but that's sometimes how it is.
I could definitely say yes, even for myself, when I was being like separating myself, and even like divorcing. When I first was like going to school, I actually went through therapy to like just heal from, because it was the point that I was even lashing out on my friends. Like I didn't want to talk to nobody, no people. I was just lashing out people I feel like I didn't deserve it, because I went through so much trust issues and bad with like people throughout the military, and I come like into civilian world, I'm taking out on the wrong people. And even like my family, when they went through like a rough relationship, and took them a while to leave their partner. So it's myself, family, and I won't say too many friends though, really, but maybe like one friend, maybe two friends. Mm-hmm. So.
Can we also touch on that too? Because there's definitely, I feel like we can't always put so much pressure on the person going through it, because those of us who have been through it also know like the difficulty it is of healing. It is not just, rainbows and sunshines or rose-colored glasses going through that whole process. Me going through that process myself beforehand, it showed me a lot. It made me mature more than I thought I would. But that definitely is hard too.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now, let's talk about recognizing unhealed trauma within oneself. Healing begins with awareness. You can't fix what you are unwilling to face. Here are common signs that trauma may still be living in your body and behavior. Patterns that are repeating. This can include falling for the same type of people, the same type of partners. You may have a partner, they have certain like personality traits, certain things about themselves, maybe even like looks. And you keep dating those type of people. You may end up dating people who remind you of the ex before. People who are toxic, people who are misogynistic, people who, are not or are narcissistic. You may end up dating people who are literally like carbon copies of the person that traumatized you.
Mm-hmm.
Staying in situations that mirror old pain. And then confusing intensity with love. Your patterns are going to reveal your wounds. Secondly, fear-based decisions, like avoiding emotional vulnerability, not talking to people about how you feel, because you are afraid that your vulnerability will be used against you. Because maybe someone in your past listened to you when you told them about something in confidence, and then they went and used that against you, whether they tried to manipulate you, they tried to gaslight you, they brought it back up in a later argument or something. You're just like, dang, like, why are you gonna bring up what I told you in confidence against me and try to guilt trip me? Or maybe they go and tell somebody else what you told them, and now it makes you feel like you can't trust them. The other ones are assuming worst case scenarios. You might be in a situation, and every single time you're in a situation, you always assume the worst. No matter what happens, you always assume the worst case scenario. And also, clinging tightly to somebody or pulling away abruptly. Fear is going to become the narrator of your love story. Thirdly, overthinking everything. And I can say this for myself. Overthinking everything's a big one.
Yes, it is for you, Logan.
Yeah. Like reading between the lines constantly. Interpreting neutral behaviors as rejection. Or struggling to trust your own judgment. Overthinking is often unprocessed fear in disguise. And then difficulty receiving healthy love. You may feel uncomfortable with affection, distrusting people who treat you well, and then sabotaging relationships that feel too good to be true. Healthy can feel unfamiliar, and unfamiliar can feel unsafe. Now, some questions for my guest speakers. Why do you think people often ignore signs of their own unhealed trauma?
I honestly feel people ignore it because they don't want to bring it up. They don't want to bring up that time where they felt it could possibly be at their lowest, or they don't want to tap into it to, they just don't want to. They just don't want to bring it up. That's the simplest way that I could say. Honestly, they don't want to bring it up. They don't want to reopen all of those boxed emotions, because a lot of times we have people who literally suppress their emotions. Some people literally will suppress their emotions because they don't want to express it, and that's not a healthy way of being a human. It's never going to be a healthy way of being human. And I say that because a human cannot not express it. They cannot let it out. They cannot sit up there and do that, because when you hold it in, like I said, it builds up and it builds up and it becomes turmoil. So I honestly feel as that people, they do it because they don't want to bring up their emotions. They don't want to deal with what really happened. A lot of times it's emotional intelligence too. At some point, you have to know when you are hurting yourself. So, as a young adult, whether or not somebody has done something to you or made you feel traumatic, it's you. It's only you. And it is only you who can make that change.
I 100% agree with that. 100%.
I do too. It's all about accountability. Owning up to what you gotta work on. Like, at the end of the day, like, no matter what you went through, how the person did you, it's all up to, like, individual, how you gonna bounce back from it and how you gonna, like, after I went through things I went through in the Army, my dad, everybody was in my family telling me, like, why you ain't did, your ex-wife dirty, stuff like that. Like, you could have done her dirty. A couple people was asking me, like, I should have done her dirty. And other people just, like, because everybody was was very, like, upset, like, when I went through, like, very hurtful, like, because I was gaslighted, manipulated, degraded. I even got affected financially and emotionally because she actually hit me with spousal support when it came to that time of leaving. And that was already hurting me well enough, but I knew, like, when I left, when I came to UMES, I actually did my healing while there, going to the therapy on campus to, like, casually, like, just talk it out. And me just talking to my therapist about it, like, I could say, like, because I'm the type of person that likes to talk to people anyway, so I just be just talking it out, and just talking that let alone just helped me, like, get it out completely. And then once I really came to a realization that I was never going to get, like, an apology from my ex-wife for what she did to me, I basically learned how to accept that and move forward, because there's some people that do wicked things to you and would never apologize on their end on what they did. And she would blame it on me. I'm like, no, you was doing more dirt than me. I was trying to save and keep it maintained, but you out here more wilding than me. And fast forward to now, like, I actually feel a lot better. I feel like I like having friends. Now, on a dating perspective, that might take just a little minute because I'm just trying to get my degree right now. But maybe after that, but I just take time to focus on me. And to my mom happens to be a therapist herself. So it's fun when you have a mom and a therapist at the same time. So,
and I say after you, because I actually want to touch bases on what you said with your ex. You finished?
I was mentioning my mom. We have, like, a mom and a therapist that just feels, like, amazing because I get advice from her too.
Let's embrace that. Embrace that. It's not a lot of people willing to do that.
Oh, yeah.
So I do want to say that was one of y'all main problems also. Pointing fingers. You cannot point fingers. As Logan just said, at the very end, she said there must be a solution, right? So when you point fingers like, you did this, but you did this, but you did that. That is what makes nothing better. It makes nothing better. It literally adds fire to the food. So for anybody here, if somebody's watching, I don't know if people watching, but you cannot do that. As soon as, even if you guys are sitting down and realizing which one, you have to do it in a healthy way. You got to sit down and be like, okay, I was wrong for this. And okay, I was wrong for this. Admitting you're wrong. Whatever. She should have admitted her wrong. And if you can admit you're wrong just as well, she should be able to admit her wrong too. Because in order for a relationship to work, there are always going to be arguments. They're going to be, clashing, because when you are around a person a lot, sometimes it gets catty. You know what I'm saying? It gets really catty after a while. You been around a person all the time because that's just how it is. So the best way I would say moving forward is completely, as soon as you hear something like that, sit down and have a conversation with your partner and admit your wrongs and have them admit their wrongs. If they cannot do as such, you must leave immediately. And I'm going to be honest, because I'm one of them people, I feel let's not waste each other's time. I feel as if we're going to be here, let's make it work. If we can't make it work, it is no point. It is no point of discussing anything. There's no point of anything, because the thing about it is, a person who cannot sit up there and admit their wrongs or take accountability, they don't need to be around you. So I just want to say, yes, moving forward, please just sit down immediately if something ever comes out of your partner's mouth like that in future base. Oh, you did this, you did this. You say you did this. You can't do that. It's very unhealthy, and it adds fire to the fuel. Sitting down and actually having a conversation about what each other went fault in and finding a resolution. Because that's what it's all about when you are in a relationship. You're supposed to, let me see. Because I seen this video. I said, I'm going to give you an example. It was this video, and it was a bunch of hearts. They were all moving. It was a bunch of hearts, but they were split in half. So it was a male heart and it was a woman heart. The male heart kept going past all of these hearts, but it was this one heart that he seen. They didn't fit, right? The pieces to make the heart a whole, it did not fit. But what they did was they took some pieces off of them. She took some pieces off of her to make it fit. That is what a relationship is. It is to literally be there. You know what I'm saying? It's to literally, I don't know how to say it, because I know what I'm saying, but I don't know how to say it. It's about being there for that person. It's about when they're wrong, when you see their darkest and their lowest and the darkest form of them, and you still love them. You still show up. You know what I'm saying? It's about fixing each other. Like, not fixing each other, but accommodating with each other. You know what I'm saying? If it's something you don't like, something you don't like with your partner should more and willingly try to fix whatever they got going on that you didn't like. Vice versa. That's it.
Reciprocation is key. So, like, if you can't go 50-50, the moment you realize someone can't go 50-50 with somebody, just go on, pack it up and get up out the door.
That was powerful. That was very powerful. Stand on that, Diamond.
Yes, thank you. You didn't know I could talk like this. You just thought I was some ghetto bitch with this thing.
But just based off your personality, I knew you had a lot to say. And so that's why I knew you would be a great candidate to be a guest speaker, because you speak very well on things and you will stand on business. So, yes, kudos.
Thank you.
Okay.
I slightly disagree with the 50-50 perspective.
Okay.
The only reason why I say that is because as people, we all also have our times where we crash. In relationships, even marriages, listen to the marriages that actually lasted, over 30 years. Those people will tell you there's times where their partner was probably only able to offer 10. And as the counterpart, you got to be able to take on that 90. You got to be able to sometimes handle that load just for them. Sometimes when people point the finger, not all the time is that deflection. Because kind of like you and your situation with your wife, where there was situations where she did put you through. And of course, not pointing the finger is going to help you heal. However, you going through your experience, you also realized that you wasn't going to be able to get that closure because she wasn't going to admit her wrongs. Sometimes that's going to happen. I feel like the biggest part about healing is acceptance. Sometimes you literally just got to accept things for what it is, not everything. The only thing that you could control is yourself, and trying to navigate your own emotions. Not all the time can you really affect others. So it's like when it comes to that sense of there's something I don't like about my partner, well, you chose that person. Sometimes you got to take them with the good, bad, and ugly. And sometimes you got to accept them for who they are. Everything kind of just falls under acceptance to a certain degree.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's what I meant when I said, them parts, basically. Like, you got to accept every part of that person if you really say that you love them.
Well, actually,
no. Then I have a question on that. If you're saying that you need to accept all parts of your partner, even their flaws, right? Because we're all flawed. None of us are perfect. We are all imperfect beings, created in the image of God, right?
Amen.
So, what would you consider to be something that would be a deal breaker where you gotta leave because of it? Because yes, we do have flaws, but there are things that people will do that you just cannot stand for.
Yes.
So what would you consider that to be? I would like to know.
And I feel like as far as that's where compromise comes in. Because of course,
okay,
you do have to accept them for who they are. But there's also, there's wages to this. Everyone has a wage. Let's say, for instance, you meeting your girlfriend at the time when she told you, or your ex-wife at the time, let's say when she had told you initially, like, I'm a standoffish person. When you say, I could deal with that, that's something you signed up for. Mm-hmm. So therefore, later on in the relationship, when you feel me, when she low, I want to communicate this, and she's like, I'm not really for that. You have to remember that's something that was already there. Mm-hmm. If that's something that you absolutely cannot work with, you gotta let that be known in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like setting boundaries is like a big thing. Be like the early phase is like very important to set boundaries and stuff. If the moment you don't set boundaries early,
it will continue in the future.
Yep, shatter and everything. Then you like, well, I don't like this. I don't like. You mentioned like maybe 3-4 weeks later, I don't like this. I don't like that. And then one of us gonna look at each other like, well, why you didn't mention it in the very beginning?
Because love without boundaries is self-abandonment.
Self-abandonment. Wow. I've never heard that. Self-abandonment. Because it is. It's like you are abandoning your own boundaries and your own morals, your own beliefs by just not mentioning it when you should.
Because you just want to pursue that person so much, but it's like you're doing so much to give into them. But then by the time it gets later into the relationship where you're like, okay, where's my reciprocation? That wasn't stated in the beginning.
Right. So then on that, right? So then you would say that the talking stage, or even just being friends first before getting into a relationship, you would deem that very important, like a very important step into like a gateway into a relationship, because that's where you start to talk about these things before you even become serious, right?
Definitely. I have these type of conversations with just friends and business partners.
Mm-hmm. We love an educated black man. Period.
Yes. Okay. Okay. And everybody in the live, I'm so sorry I forgot to greet you guys, but hello. We have like 4 people listening right now, guys. I'm talking to you guys. Yes, we have 4 people listening on my live right now. Nope, now it's 3. But everybody in the live, as I'm asking my guests questions, you guys are more than welcome to answer in the chat as well. So I know you guys can hear me, so if I ask a question for them, you can also answer that in the chat. I would love to hear you. Hi, Mel. Hello. Yes.
I feel like they
now 6 people. Damn.
Say something about my little personal marriage thing on that little comment thing. I feel like they are. They're probably looking like she was married.
Well, see, can I share something? Because see, me, I'm like the type of person, I don't care. I'm a very self-confident person, and I'm very confident in myself. So I do want to say something. It is okay, honey, that you went through something like that. I've went through an abusive relationship. Yes, I've been through an abusive relationship. So, somebody always got a worser. And it's okay. Don't care what them people say. Oh, well. And I think that's another thing that everybody has to understand when it comes to love. Stop caring about what everybody else thinks. I
had to tell my homegirl that. Yes, in her one relationship, I was like, don't care what other people think, because especially when they was dating on campus, everybody was trying to be up in their business. I was like, oh my goodness. And with me, like, I never been the type. It was just Yeah, I could say I never been the type because I just go with the flow anyways, roll with the punches. But I was basically like the type where with relationships, like I definitely in the type like where I'm gonna put in my effort and give whatever I could give. And the moment I sense like something could be like a little wrong, I was doing like relationships probably I was in my like late teens or like the early 20s. I feel like my mind wasn't really fully developed at the time. I feel like I basically just wanted just to be like, oh, I got something. You know, I could pull this, I could pull that. And then I went through when I was going through my separation, like divorce process / separation, and I'm gonna be honest, I definitely dated someone to escape the reality of me going through my divorce because the divorce part was so messy. And when she hit me with that spousal support, I was trying to escape from all that and then I felt bad for dragging like my ex-girlfriend to it at the time as I'm trying to get rid of my ex-wife. I was on my shenanigans back in my early 20s. I was just, let me date a girl, little female as I'm going through my little separation, divorce. And I even learned from like both of those, like I moved fast within. Now the ex-wife and I, that actually was like a contract marriage. We basically did it for the money in the military. But then I was trying to put off like it could be like a real thing, so like leadership wouldn't get on our backs. So, because when they find like you doing it for the money, you could get in real trouble for that. Mm-hmm. And so, but with the ex-girlfriend, I actually wanted to go further with it. But then I moved fast with her and then things started shambling. That's another big thing with like past trauma stuff too. A lot of people tend to move things very fast and never learn. In the last relationship, when you move fast, even my dad said it, move fast, shit go left.
Yeah, if you move too fast, you're going to end up bringing whatever was from the last relationship into the next one.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe
that. They thinking that gonna work. It'll work differently, different paths, different strokes for different folks.
And you ain't lying. You're not.
All right. As for the next question, okay, how do you think? And this is and everybody who's listening to the live too. Like I said, you can answer any questions I ask my guests. How do you think trauma? Oh, hi, Brody. How do you think trauma changes someone's normal in relationships?
I'm gonna go last because I gotta use the bathroom.
Okay.
I feel like you said how traumas can affect like the normal.
Yeah, like how do you think trauma changes someone's normal in a relationship?
Oh, I feel like it could. Oh, you go ahead.
You sure? You can go first.
Oh yeah, you go. I probably have. You go. I'll let you go first since I done went first and second a couple times.
You said how does past trauma could affect someone's normal?
Yeah, in a relationship.
I feel like because it really depends, right? So, for example, like we could all say we have friends that aren't exactly fully perfect, right? Mm-hmm. We have our friends that might go to the club. We might have a few, or even if you might not know them directly, we know of people that cheat outside of their relationship. You know, that we know this is a somewhat beginning to be normal thing in today's society and was pushed on social media. Mm-hmm. I feel like it can ruin someone's perspective of a new norm because now at this point, kind of going back into the topic that we passed before, you start to overthink. You start to overanalyze. You start to look at everything differently because now everything could seem warped in a way. Like, yeah, this person's saying this, but what do they actually mean? Or, you know, like sometimes you might start to feel like there's hidden agendas or just things that they aren't saying that's there.
Right.
I would say, so it depends on the rarity of the trauma, for one. Because Is it a trauma that, that'll change their life forever? Is it a trauma that, they can get over, a lesson learned? You know what I'm saying? You can get over any if you just forgive yourself and the other person. But what I'm saying is it depends on the type of case of trauma that it is. So I would say for somebody who has had trauma, maybe a little bit, but it's still very, effective to them, right? Their normal could be, social cues. Sometimes they don't know what to say out their mouth. Or sometimes they just, have a moment. Mm-hmm. But everything is still good because some people, it depends on, the brain. Because not everybody's brain is the same. Not everybody can handle all types of trauma. So like I said, now if it's trauma that, that is very to an extensive level, their normal can be very, 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 very different. I've dealt with one. I've had that my abusive ex-boyfriend. He he was abusive, and he only put his hands on me once out of the whole time that we've been together. But it doesn't make any type because he was verbal abusive throughout the whole relationship. Okay, so now a lot of times happens when that is because of their traumatic experiences, and they don't know how to love because they never was really shown love. You know what I'm saying?
I definitely agree with that, especially like parents and your upbringing too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, understood that, which is why I dragged out with him so long. So yeah, people, it just varies. Honestly, people with a high extent level of trauma can be a horrible relationship, honestly, because people, you cannot love somebody and you don't even love yourself fully yet. You cannot. You can't. Mm-hmm. If you're loving on yourself, when you're loving on yourself, that is when you're able to show people your whole love, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? When you're loving on yourself, you have to love on yourself before you even try to put yourself in a shoe with another body, honestly. And that be a lot of people's problem. They want, like she said, fast. You want something so quick. You want something. My personal thing is, I think the best thing to do is just wait. Traumatic, because you can run into people that have very traumatic lives, and they're unhealed. Mm-hmm. And it varies. Like I said, it could be little trauma and it could be big trauma. And big trauma, it can be plenty of examples. You know what I'm saying? It can be they don't know how to talk at all. Mm-hmm. They lashing out off the littlest thing. They're controlling. They're narcissists. All of that along the lines can lead to somebody who has a lot of trauma. Mm-hmm. Luckily, I'm a person who has a lot of trauma. But I know because I've grown so much and I've been through so much, I am able to speak to you now how I'm speaking. Mm-hmm. Because I've been through a lot. Mm-hmm. And not everybody has a strong mind. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can handle all of that. You know what I'm saying? It's for the strong ones. So I just honestly say it very much varies. It very much varies because you don't know what you could be getting. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I could definitely with that too. Like it depends on how you bounce back from it. Like even I advocate for even for how it affects with the past trauma. Like it's okay to go to therapy for it, just to heal. It's okay to go to therapy. It's okay to even talk to someone very close to confiding, and also find some hobbies to do. Later on down the line, I started writing poetry in a way, or writing songs just to something that I had going through. I wrote a whole poetry series based on the things that I went through, even with the men relationships. and
you turn it into something positive. That is the best way, and that's one of the best ways. Literally,
you got people that will color just to be like, oh, this helped me through feeling in a relationship. You got people that will color, that will paint, that would write little poetry or write little mini stories or make little film. It's very it depends how you could cope, how you heal, how you carry on with life, and like
what works for you.
Diamond as well, like depending on how impact the trauma is, it could be big, medium, small. You could come with a whole luggage of trauma, and you can still no matter how big or small things can go, it's all like the biggest thing is how you gonna perceive it. Perceive it. You could how you come back from it, and you got people that go to the gym just to push out all the madness and the rage. Yeah. People that go boxing, like you can find many outlets in many ways, and trauma is an emotional roller coaster. It's an emotional roller coaster. It's a big luggage,
and you have to learn. You have to learn how to navigate it in your own way. In your own way, because everybody navigates it differently. I'm currently still navigating trauma from the past year or two, and and I'm taking it in stride, and I can definitely see progress. Every single day I see progress, and it makes me happy to know I am making progress, because of course everybody would want to heal from their trauma, or at least be able to I don't see, for me, personally, I don't believe anyone can actually heal from trauma. I don't really, in my personal opinion, I don't think anyone can fully heal from trauma, because those are scars. You always remember what you went through and what you experienced. So I feel like if you could fully heal from it, you would forget. Like you wouldn't remember anything. Nothing would trigger you. Like it would just be completely gone forever. But people do have triggers. People do have those memories that's stuck in their brain. There are things that just kind of show that we can't fully heal from trauma. I forgot the word I used to describe it. I think I called it, you just learn how to navigate through your trauma.
You just learn how to live with a hole in.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to add, I personally do feel like you can heal. This is kind of completely off topic, but kind of like I lost a very close friend of mine in 5th grade. We grew up together, and it was just the way that he passed away. It was very traumatizing for me, but it's one of those things where you can heal. That doesn't mean that the memory has to fade. You can still remember. However, kind of like how you're taking old habits that, like, let's say in a relationship, you probably used to do with your partner. Mm-hmm. And it might feel awkward doing it by yourself afterwards. But then, when you keep doing that, you take that time with yourself, it feels normal again. That's something that you always enjoy doing, and you got back to being you. You healed. You can give yourself, that pat on the back, that congratulations, that you healed yourself. Mm-hmm. I do feel like you can heal while remembering.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. And then for the final question, what's one sign you think people our age should look out for in themselves?
Don't just notice the red flags and toxic traits in everyone else. Also notice them in yourself. It's easy to point a finger. It's harder to look in the mirror and realize your own faults.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Great.
Mm-hmm. I could, for signs, well, with me being, I'd say for all of us too, but me reaching in my late 20s, I feel like for the signs when you out there, like, yes, biggest thing is really like take accountability within yourself, what you have a tendency to do, instead of just blaming it at others. Like, don't just say like, oh, this person is like manipulative when you could be manipulative yourself. Another sign I could also mention is like, don't move too fast. Don't move fast. Please don't, because you move fast, and then really don't be afraid to go through like the phase of talking phase. Like, don't ever rush like a time where you should go into the next phase. Don't ever make it like let's say you've been talking for like maybe like 2 years, stuff like that. If you feel like you're not ready to move forward, still take a little time before you move forward to date. And then living with somebody, just really take slow before you move in with somebody, because you be think you so happy and infatuated. You move with somebody, you like, hey, this is not who I want to be with. This ain't right. This ain't the person I met when I first was like looking online day in, and you go out on little dates. So please don't move fast. Please take accountability, and don't be afraid if you feel you gotta take that phase a little longer. You know, love is a roller coaster. It takes time. It's not meant to go fast. You go at your own pace. It's up to you and the partner at the end of the day.
I would say, I'm gonna say the main one. Yeah, they all said it, but I'm gonna express it. Accountability. Accountability. I don't care if it's a relationship. I don't give a damn if it's your teacher. Accountability is the best thing you can do, because when you take accountability, there is nothing a person can say. Accountability is key. Yes. If it's whether it's a relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's a study partner, or your work, your actual work, like working in a job, accountability. You have to take accountability for your actions, because if you don't, no one else will.
Yes.
Oh, the military preached on that all the time. Accountability.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they do.
Yeah, you have to. You have to take accountability, and that is something I'm still learning to this day. Yeah. But it's something that I go by, and I'm really big on it, because nobody's going to do it for you. And I realize that because I've lost my mom and I don't have a dad. So nobody's going to do it for you. Only you can. And that's just that.
One sign I think people our age should look out for in themselves is if you feel like you are constantly paranoid, right? Or if you always see, like I said before, if you always see, if you like worst case scenario type stuff, if you always feel like you're always feeling paranoid about every little thing that your partner or the person you like may be doing, or things like that, that's a sign that you have unhealed trauma or unresolved trauma that you may need to, reflect on, and heal from, work on it. If you feel like, what was it? I said paranoia, and what was the other one I said? Yeah, that's my train of thought. But yeah, paranoia is a big one. Seeing worst case scenarios. If you're always feeling like, oh my gosh, if this happens, I feel like this is bad, it's gonna happen, this is bad, it's gonna happen, bad. You're always gonna see everything bad in life, and that's not how you want to live. You don't want to always think negatively. You don't want to be a pessimistic person, or be a party pooper, or be a I forgot my where my mom uses. It's what's it called? I don't know the word she used, but it's she says something. Basically, it just means that you just, like, let's say you went out with your friends and something bad happens. Your mood is ruined, but the whole time you guys are still hanging out, you just complain about what was the bad thing that happened or what was the unfortunate thing that happened. And people are not going to want to hang out with you if you just constantly just complain or you see the worst case scenario. Like, okay, my grade's bad, right? Oh man, there's no way I can fix it. I'm gonna fail my class. Like, no, find a solution. You could email your teacher and ask if you can do extra credit. You can email your teacher or ask, hey, is there any other assignments I can make up? Are there any assignments that I can do? What more do I need to do in order to get my grade where I want to? Even if it's a C in passing, what do I need to do? But don't just accept it. But don't just accept and be like, oh man, I got 67. I'm not getting this nowhere. I'm at a 60%. Like, no. If you got time to get it up, then figure out, ask your professor, because you will only get those answers from your professor, not your department chair, not the dean of the school, but your professor. And once you get those answers, do that work.
Yeah. And I want to say something also. Because I feel like I want to reach out to everybody, because I'm a very big person when it comes to knowing, even if I've never been in a situation, I automatically can understand. It's full 5 types of people in this world. There's people who care about what others have to say, and they work, 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 and they work. They keep going and drive themselves crazy because they care about whatever people got to say. Another person, you have people who are like me, who are overly confident, who are, they everything that they believe and everything that they do, they see it as that, and that's just final. Can nobody change their thought? Can't nobody do nothing to change their thought. You have people, type 3. You have people who are easily influenced. Also, another type of people, messy people who are always trying to be in the mix, people who are always want to be in something that does not have to do with them. I'm going to go down the list, and I'm going to say everything for what I want to say to them, because you said, you said something to people. That last question you said, I know your last question. So anyway, I want to say, for the people who are always constantly caring about what somebody else's opinion, I'm going to tell you this, and I'm sorry, I'm going to say this, Logan. I don't know if you have a beep out or whatever. Fuck their opinion. Nobody cares about what they think, because it's not their life. Because I know I'm going down this list because I know it's not just it's so many different personalities, and it's so many different types of people. So I wanted to say the types that I know. Okay, F what them people have to say. Anything that you do, you should do it because you want to do it. You should do it because you want to do it, and you don't care about what anybody thinks. When you start to care about what other people think, that is when you are making a mistake, because you're going to start to look at everything that you're doing wrong when you should be looking at everything that you're doing right. Even if it's more wrongs than right. Look at what you're doing right, because when you look at that, it gives you more of a motivation to work towards something, to become a better person. For my people who are overly confident and they can say whatever they want, like me, trust your intuition. Always go with what you feel. The moment that you sit up there and you turn away from what you feel or what you know to be is, Always trust your instinct. And I know as a super confident person, as such as myself, I can sometimes not trust my instinct because I want to make sure that I'm not wrong in a situation, or I always like to look outside of my shoes and look, did I do something wrong? And I take accountability. I sure do. I literally do. I don't care. It's the best thing you can do in the world. For my people, what was the third thing I said about the third type of people? I got lost. Third type of people.
I know you said the fourth was like the messy people.
Yeah, I think we'll go to the messy people.
Yeah, they're always knowing everything. Everything that's happening with everybody, all the gossip, all the tea. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. There's people like that. If you are on this live or you will see this podcast, you have to stop that. You have to. And you have to stop it now. Because it's not doing anything for you. And it will mess up future relationships for you. And you will see that. You will see everything around you will diminish because you are a messy person.
Mm-hmm. I also want to add in one thing too, is kind of going up back to controlling who exactly you're, controlling your environment, right? When you have those people that around you, of course, you can advise them to stop. You can always, give your good graces. But if that's not always taken, leave. Because when going through something like that, you need to give yourself time to really, you need more stability.
Yes.
And peace over chaos and stuff that is uncontrolled.
Yes.
Because that is going to fuck with your train of thought more and your way of thinking.
And what he's saying is completely right, because I was in a relationship with somebody controlling, so I can attest. I didn't date nobody or mess with nobody till I broke up with him in July. It was about October. That's when I started to mess with people again, because I gave myself time. And I'm the type of person, once I just get out of a relationship, I don't want to jump in the next bitch face. There's no shame. I'm not. So, like he said, take time. It's the best thing you can do. Stop being so pressed to be in a nigga face or face. Stop. Because if they don't have nothing going on for themselves, what are you with them for? Mm-hmm. If they cannot do nothing for you, don't waste your time. If a person is not going to challenge you and challenge you to be the better version of yourself, you don't need to be with them. Point blank period. Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, healing isn't linear, and it isn't quick, but it is absolutely possible. Okay? Step 1 to healing yourself emotionally. Acknowledge the hurt that you are going through and what you went through. You cannot heal trauma. Yes. You cannot heal trauma you pretend didn't happen. Honesty with yourself is the very first step. I can agree with that.
Yes, I very much agree.
Mm-hmm. Step 2. Identify all of your triggers. Triggers don't mean you are broken. They mean there's a wound underneath that's asking to be cared for. Step 3. Relearn safety. Build routines that calm your nervous system. Surround yourself with people who respect your boundaries. And create emotional rituals like journaling, meditation, grounding exercises. Because your body needs to learn what safety feels like again. 4th, challenge old beliefs. Replace the I'm hard to love with I'm worthy of safe love. Replace everyone leaves to I deserve consistency. Your mindset is a huge part of healing. Step 5, seek support. Healing is not meant to be done in isolation. Therapy, support groups, or simply emotionally safe friends can make a huge difference. And then finally, step 6, practice healthy love. You heal through experiences that reinforce the opposite of what hurt you. Now for my guests and everybody in the live. What healing practices do you think are most helpful for young adults recovering from relationship trauma? Therapy.
I definitely can agree with that. Therapy, and find like a coping outlet, like to actually like your outlet throughout like the trauma and heal, instead of you trying to take it out on people.
Say that last question again. I'm sorry.
What healing practices do you think are most helpful for young adults recovering from relationship trauma?
Stop caring. Stop caring. Because I'm an Aquarius. So me, when it comes to me and people, I don't care. I don't care. Bye. If you want to leave, leave. Because guess what? It is never my loss. And I think that is how everyone should think. It's never your loss. I don't care what nobody said. I don't care if that mother was rich. It's never your loss because you can go find better. Stop caring. Stop over caring. Yes, a person it can be big, or y'all was long, or it took a while, y'all was together for a while. If it didn't work, it didn't work. Oh, well. Life goes on, honey. And I know as easy as I'm saying it, I know it. I've dealt with people. I've dealt with multiple people. And I don't care after a while. I will forget you. I forget you ever exist. That's how I am. I don't care. Stop caring. Stop sitting up there crying about a crusty that can't do nothing for you. Stop sitting up there crying about a bee who literally is draining you. No, who cares? Bye. Have a nice one. And that's my perspective. I think I sit up there and I say I just couldn't sit up there and cry with nobody or feel sad after a while. You forgive yourself, you forgive that person, you pray to God, and everything is okay. That's it. Stop caring so much. When you care too much, people are not going to care because they see that you care overly more than them. Yeah, that's what I feel, honestly. Stop caring. And I know everybody don't honestly agree with that, but me personally, I don't care. I feel as we spend so much time on little things when we could be putting our energy towards something great and big. Stop caring. You stop caring about what everybody think and how everybody feel in situations that's out of your control. When you stop caring about situations that's out of your control, you will feel completely better. Simple. You can't, if it's out of your control, you just cannot do nothing about it. And that's just what it is. Move on. Next. It is a billion people in this life. Like, yeah, stop caring.
What say you, Kavion?
I do agree with some of the things that Diamond says. However, I feel like as people, we're always going to care. As people, we're always going to have grace. Yeah. And one thing, as a follower of Jesus too, we can't just absolutely not care about anyone, even if it's your greatest enemy. Yeah. You always still got to have grace for everybody. But I do feel like you can just place better boundaries.
Yes.
Get to know yourself. Give yourself that grace. Give yourself that time. Give yourself, like you said, forgiveness. And just overall, don't let your heart turn cold.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Do you all believe a new relationship can help someone heal, or does healing need to happen first? This is a good question.
Healing has to happen first. It has to. It is imperative that it happens first. Because as I stated once again, you cannot love somebody and you're not loving yourself. How can you sit up there and love on somebody and you haven't even fixed your root problems? You can't. It's not sensible. It doesn't make sense, and it's going to show because the relationship is not going to work because you don't love on yourself. How can you share love if you don't even got love for yourself, or you don't even have enough love in you? You know what I'm saying? Some people have to literally build up love for themselves to give love to others.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you gotta heal.
I wholeheartedly agree. Healing is also not linear, right? It is not like, oh, healing is the same amount of time for everybody. Like, it takes you 3 months, it takes you 27 days, it takes you it takes you maybe 6 months. No, everybody's healing process is different, and you're gonna have ups and downs with your healing process. It may be short, it may be long. It might be quick for you to get over and heal from. It might take you maybe a few months to a couple of years to heal from. But at the end of the day, you need to know how to love yourself, because you cannot not love yourself and then love another human being. That's just not how that works. In order for you to love another human being, you have to be able to love yourself. Because if you can love yourself, you can love anybody, right? But if you can't love yourself, then I don't know. It's just like, look, everybody could disappear from your life. But the only person who will not disappear ever is yourself. You will never ever leave yourself. I don't care how depressed you get. I don't care if you feel like, oh my gosh, woe was me. I feel really, really depressed. And depression is real. But you feel so depressed that you feel like you've lost a piece of yourself or your whole self. You still have not lost yourself. You're still here with yourself. So work on yourself. Don't worry about trying to love somebody else. Don't try to worry about jumping into the next relationship until you feel that you can love yourself. You feel like you can be by yourself without anybody in the room with you. If you feel like you can do that and exist in the silence with yourself, you can love another person. Mm-hmm.
I was to say that not only like people like with depression get real throughout times like this, but PTSD from like other times is like real. You could develop real PTSD from like trauma relationships, certain things with the triggers. Don't let your PTSD get the best of you when you try to move forward within a relationship without really knowing that what have triggers you to like. But sometimes you could tweak out when you see some that you remember from the past relationship, and don't let your PTSD show like to the point where you feel like the next partner is looking like they show interest like in you without you really like working on your PTSD from the trauma relationship, or like even just not healing all the way. So PTSD is real alongside with depression, then anxiety, then overthinking. So don't let them other things affect you from like not want to be in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely agree with everything that was already previously stated. Because I don't believe that you could get into another relationship without fully being capable of looking past some of the things that you went through in the past relationship. If you're not fully over, like let's say, how we touched on patterns and things of that nature, you're always going to see those same patterns, if not gotten over.
Mm-hmm. All right. And then for the last question, what's one healthy habit someone can start today to support their emotional healing?
Slowing down emotionally. Slowing down emotionally.
Yeah. Step back. Oh, you can go ahead.
I'm going to say, talk to God.
Talk to God.
Talk to God. Talk to God. Talk to God. Talk to God. Put your faith in God. Put your faith in God. And I say that because God can change your life in so many different ways if you just believe in Him.
Mm-hmm.
What if they're atheists?
Well, then that's just on them. I'm not going to lie. It's no shame. You have to believe in something.
What do atheists believe in?
Science.
Okay. Because science going in tune with biology?
Definitely.
Okay. So then, can't you believe in yourself then? Then there you go. I just found a solution to that problem. That was fast.
Yeah.
Like, you guys, atheists, can believe in themselves. You are biology. You are a biological specimen. You are science. So there you go. You guys believe in yourselves. As Christians believe in God. And, oh man. Darn. I can't, for the love of me, I cannot remember any other religions. Buddhists, they
Muslim.
Yeah, Muslim. Catholic, yeah. Hey, what was the Jewish? What was that one where the Amish they be doing it?
Even like the Amish.
What's that one that they show up at your door a lot?
Jehovah's Witnesses.
Jehovah's Witnesses. Yes, Jehovah's Witnesses. Any religion. You can be spiritual. That's a belief too.
Yeah.
You know, like, find something that you believe in and allow that belief to kind of like guide your healing process.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I honestly, I feel that, it's to start a spiritual journey moving forward. You have to open up with everything, and you have to be open and honest with any and everything. Me personally, I feel people should go talk to God.
Mm-hmm.
I say that because once you have that sense of belief, you will start to feel better. Honestly, like a lot of people do. Like a lot of you talking, you're still letting it out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You're still moving towards a different goal. I would say affirmations for those who are, I guess, not believers. I don't really mess with them, but yeah, affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
Affirmations. Spirit into you that you are greatness every single day that you wake up. And I did it, but I stopped. And I'm going to start back literally now to that tonight. After this conversation we had, I'm going to start back affirmations, because affirmations, it is so powerful. Because the thing about it is, people don't know it's life and death in your tongue. So when you speak something, it will happen.
Mm-hmm.
With belief behind what you're saying, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So you speaking every day that you are beautiful, you are intelligent, you got everything, you got this, you smart, you speak that every day. Eventually your brain will start to believe that. Mm-hmm. Because the human brain is so easy. It is so easy to fuck up, and it is so easy to fix. Well, I don't want to say fix, but
it's a little complicated there, but it's possible. It's very possible.
Yeah,
I'm sure Elon Musk could figure it out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's not hard. People make things hard and they overcomplicate things. That doesn't have to be overcomplicated, honestly.
Mm-hmm. For me,
stop overcomplicating everything. Stop.
Yep.
Yeah. You too, Logan.
Okay. Me too. Yeah.
Start journaling. You know, it don't hurt. Pick up a little journaling.
Yeah. Meditation. Meditation works. Yoga. I find it relaxing, honestly. One thing I was gonna say is take a step back from all the action. Take a step back from like the busyness of life. You know, just be in the quiet for a second. If you need to step back from just breathe. If you need to step back from clubs, organizations that you are in or you are in charge of, or or you need to maybe send an email to your professors and let them know, hey, I'm going through a tough time right now. I was wondering if you could just give me some leeway and be understanding and, and things like that. They can give you extra time. Like, well, if your professor's not an asshole, but if they're good, if they're understanding, they'll do that for you because life can be shitty sometimes. Everybody goes through something. You just gotta be understanding of that, and be empathetic. So make sure you step back and give yourself that time to really be by yourself and to figure out how you're going to heal before really stepping back into the fray of things. Because you don't want to overwhelm yourself while you're still doing everything, because it's going to make it a lot harder to heal, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. And I would love to be on this podcast again, honestly. I feel like I gotta be a guest star, because I have a lot to talk about. We could talk about anything, honestly. They don't even. It could just be, it don't even have to just be about love. It could just be about anything. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And people, I think y'all should enter whatever y'all want to hear. Who do chime in? I think y'all should, text Logan, let her know. Different things. Different topics that you want to be discussed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yes, everybody, you heard her in the live. Just chime in, DM my podcast page, DM my main page, blossoming_melody, if you follow me on either one of those, and just make a suggestion of what you'd want us to talk about. It literally doesn't have to be about everything that I have listed out that I plan to do. You can make a request. You could be a guest on the episode you requested. If you believe that you have a voice to speak, and everybody has a voice to speak, don't believe that you don't. You do. That is the reason why I made this podcast, for a reason. To give people an outlet to express themselves about relationships, because it's such a broad topic. Like, when I tell y'all I have more than 24 topics planned, it's insane. It is insane. And this is just, I love that you love it, Diamond. Thank you. And I would love to have you back on, because I love having people who are just very well spoken and also are able to just share their opinion. Or not only that, even if it's a topic you're not familiar with, you still are like, yeah, I'm ready to learn, and then I still got something to say about it.
Yeah, you know me.
And then let's see. Oh yeah, that's it. Okay, cool. Kivion, do you have anything to say about that last one? Like, what's one habit someone can start today to support their emotional healing?
Honestly, I agree with what you said. Just taking a step back from too many loud distractions. Kind of just catering to yourself more. I'm sorry, what Diamond said before, as far as the admirations towards yourself. Forgiveness. That's really it, to be honest.
All right. Now, healing trauma isn't just about moving on moving on. It is about moving differently. Rebuild trust in yourself. Trust your intuition again. As Diamond has stated before, she always trusts her intuition. Please do work on trusting your own intuition, because sometimes your intuition be right.
Yeah.
I swear to God, bro, like sometimes I'll sit there not doing anything, and like, you know what? My brain's just like, you know what? I have a feeling this is going to happen. I feel like this is currently happening. And guess what? It's always right or close to it. It's
because your body don't lie to you.
Mm-hmm. It's like Spidey senses. Right? If any of you are like Marvel fans, like Spider-Man, you would know he has spider senses. It's like your body can sense something is amiss. If something's wrong, but you don't know what's wrong, but you just got a feeling something's about to happen. Mm-hmm. I think everybody has like a sense of like intuition and things like that. Yeah. Recognize your growth. Okay? Please do like become aware of your growth and celebrate it too. Celebrate your wins, your successes, your achievements, your accolades. Celebrate those. Celebrate your growth, because I mean it's not easy to grow and become better. Like, that takes time. It takes time. You can't rush that either. And then stop blaming yourself for past pain. Okay? You are not the person who was hurt. You are the person who survived. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Now, yes. And I'm going to say that again. For those who are listening, you know who you are. And then for my guests, and literally for anybody who will be listening to this episode when I eventually post it, but you are not the person who was hurt. You are the person who survived. Expeditiously. I don't care.
Black power.
What'd you say?
Black power.
That part. Mic drop. Like, all of those things. Let's see. Rebuild trust in relationships. Communicate your boundaries clearly with literally anyone. It doesn't even have to be a partner. It could be a friend, a professor, a parent or a sibling. Allow vulnerability in safe increments. And then let people show you who they are over time. Right? Don't just assume, this person's a bad person. Don't assume, I feel like they're going to cheat on me. Let them show their true colors. Because I'm not going to lie, and it always happens. In the beginning of a relationship, it's the honeymoon phase. And then after, I think it was 3 months, you start to see that person's true colors and their true selves. And just let them show you. Because people are going to end up... Yeah, I called you out. People are going to show you who they really
exactly who they are. Mm-hmm. And when they show you the first time, you take it.
Yep, and leave and run, because if they keep showing you, it's gonna get worse. They're gonna
show you more and more and more and more, and you're gonna be so deep into it to the point you don't even know how to get out.
That part, it's gonna be very difficult to get out. You may not even be able to get out. Hopefully, you do, because there are a lot of people out here who end up in domestic violent relationships where they end up losing their lives. Yeah, because they just can't leave, or they won't leave, or they just don't know how to leave, and they end up losing their life over that.
I watch the show Fatal Attraction, which that comes on every Monday, a new one every Monday. So I'm actually going to be watching that after. I'm actually supposed to be watching one episode right now with my mom. But I definitely watch Fatal Attraction. Is a great way to explain stuff like that, because it's all based on true stories. And a lot of them be happening in Florida, y'all. So I don't know. I feel like go to Florida, but I digress, but it's Fatal Attraction taught me really a lot about like how to really watch out for like red flags in certain people in relationships. Like domestic violence has gotten to the point where people have lost their lives. I think there was one where a person actually survived, but went through like very extreme matters of it, and like her family actually like came through, was saving her from the relationship, because it got to the point where she actually was kidnapped by her significant other and put her out into like a very far area. So it was Fatal Attraction could teach you a lot about knowing the red flags early.
Yeah, I used to watch it. I'll probably watch it tonight, honestly. Now that you say that, because I love Fatal Attraction.
That's my mom and our favorite show on these Mondays. We grab a bag of popcorn, watch that show.
As we stated before, just, take your time, honestly. And also, trust isn't given, it's built, right? So it's going to take time for you to get those things. Now, let's see. Give me 1 second. Oh, here it is. Okay. Healthy love can feel uncomfortable at first, but over time, safety becomes familiar, and familiar becomes comforting. Today, we explored the ways past relationship trauma shows up in our current connections, how it affects trust, communication, and self-worth, and the steps we can take to move toward healing. Now, for my listeners and for my guests, please, your past does not define your future. Trauma, it can shape you, but it doesn't have to limit you. Growth is possible. Healing is real. And healthier love is within your reach. Now, share this episode with someone who might be carrying emotional wounds they don't talk about. Your share might be the beginning of their healing. Send in your stories to loveunfiltered.podcast on Instagram, or you can also send it to my main Instagram page at blossoming_melody. Send in your stories, your reflections, your questions for future episodes, because we all love hearing from them, and we all love hearing from you guys. And of course, don't miss next week's episode, Relationship Burnout, How to Reignite the Spark. We will be talking about drifting apart, losing the fire, wondering if the love is fading, and deciding whether to break up or rebuild. It is going to be real, honest, and healing. Now, thank you so much for tuning in to Love Unfiltered. Healing takes courage, self-awareness, and patience. I am proud of all of you, for taking this step today. Remember, you deserve love that feels safe, consistent, and nourishing. I'll see you all next time in the next episode.